Right there, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to LA. This is my room. We've got an Airbnb upstairs. Just had a quick game of pool with Jay and Joe. I'll give you a quick tour in the vlog, so stay tuned for a little bit of that. But landed, and obviously things happen and develop while we're in the air. We had a delay as well, so I've landed now. It is 23:34 UK time. It's like 34 minutes past 7 in the morning. It's been a long old day. Basically been up 24 hours. So a little bit tired, but the content doesn't stop. We've got to get straight back into it. And this one is interesting. Wan-Bissaka Dumfries swap. And it's from the person that you want to hear from in the transfer window, in David Ornstein. It says West Ham are closing in on a deal to sign Mazraoui, which is interesting. And that obviously causes a little bit of a drama with the potential West Ham sale. Or West Ham purchase, sorry. I'm going to fuck up loads of words. I'm very, very tired, so just accept it, roll with it, and maybe do a drink every time I fuck a word up. So Mazraoui going to West Ham, which means that Wan-Bissaka's probably not going to be going to West Ham, which is what looked very certain less than a week ago. The club and the player have got agreement in place, and the transfer is advanced, although not yet done, according to Ornstein. United have retained an interest in him, but West Ham are ahead, according to Ornstein at present. Any deal for United would require Wan-Bissaka to depart, which makes total sense, I think. But he has turned down West Ham, and seemingly he favours a move to Inter Milan, which I'm going to be honest, I am a little bit surprised at. That's the move. I thought Wan-Bissaka to West Ham made all sorts of sense, made just complete and utter sense for it to be something to just go and deal with straight away. He can either go to Inter Milan this summer as part of some sort of a transfer, or his contract expires in June 2025, next summer, and he could potentially go as a free agent. So actually, Wan-Bissaka holds a lot of cards here. So there's a bit of an idea forming, which sees Wan-Bissaka going to Inter and Denzel Dumfries coming to United, and that's apparently being discussed by intermediaries, although the switch is not advanced according to Ornstein as things stand. In terms of how they rank up, very different players, actually, in terms of what they do. I mean, I don't think you're getting a playmaker as a fullback at all in Denzel Dumfries, but I do think he is more comfortable on the ball and in possession than you would be seeing with Wan-Bissaka, who, I don't think carries the ball well at all. And I think Denzel Dumfries would absolutely be an upgrade on him in that sense. Aside from that, the defensive situation is Branthwaite supposedly saying he's not going to sign a new contract at Everton unless they can match the 160k a week that United was supposedly going to offer. Again, that's quite an interesting little update, isn't it? And I wonder, for all the Everton fans that have been bumping their gums talking about how amazing Jared Branthwaite is, how quickly they're going to switch on him now when they figure out that Branthwaite's not worth that sort of cash, or not worth that sort of cash to Everton, or how, I don't know how to explain this. It's like they really wanted the interest from United for some reason. I don't know if that validates how good of a player he is or what. I can't really understand how they saw their arse about United no longer being interested in him, or supposedly no longer being interested in him. Really bizarre situation with Jared Branthwaite. And I guess it's not a done deal that he's not going to come yet either. I think there's all sorts of things at play, and I wonder if him stalling on the contract talks is part of a longer game with trying to get a move elsewhere or whatever. There's a lot up in the air with it, isn't there? But I want to know your thoughts. What's going on there with Dumfries and with Wan-Bissaka? I don't think you get the same sort of aggressive defensive output from Dumfries as you would get from Wan-Bissaka. I think he's probably better in the air. I think he's probably, like I said, more comfortable in possession. I think he probably gets on the ball more, but I still don't think he's not a playmaking fullback. He's more offensive, for sure. I think he gets into the final third more. Maybe he offers us a little bit more balance. Is he massively different to Dalot? Or is this just opportunistic for Man United where we go, right, Wan-Bissaka needs to go, and ideally the circumstances in which he goes need to be tailored to favour United? Because, look, players' contracts expire and they go for nothing, which is a bit of a shame when it's a £50 million investment. So you go, okay, well, if we can get anything back for him, that's a bonus, and it can go into the the whole PSR, FFP kind of thing. So if you can appease Inter and get a player out of it, does the fact that he's similar-ish to Dalot cause any sort of dramas? Or, do you know what I mean? It's a weird one for me. It is a weird one for me. So I want to know what you guys are thinking. Let me know in the comments. Do you see this one going? And there was some talk, I think it was Rob Dawson mentioned the other day, United are supposedly in for a centre-half, a full-back, and a centre-mid or two still. Obviously, the Ugarte stuff, we don't know where we're at with. Some of the other midfielders that we've been linked with, there's not been so much movement on those at the moment. I think what's probably happened is the lack of news is probably that everybody involved in all of this stuff has probably just been caught up in what I've just been caught up in the last 24 hours. All the journalists are on the way over. Andy Mitten landed just after we did. We saw him in the queue at customs. So all of the people that have got their ears to the ground on what's going on with United, from a journalist point of view, have probably been in the middle of travelling over. But then you've also got the executives who are in the mix of getting all of this stuff done, as well as the executives at other clubs, probably just about to fly over places and start stuff going with wherever they're getting to as well. So I would imagine there's going to be peaks and troughs and lulls and all sorts of stuff over the next few days as people try and figure out what's going on, where people are going. And I know I haven't done a reaction to it yet, but I do find it interesting which players United have taken and which players United haven't taken. Yes, Tom Heaton was part of England, but he was clearly just a coach, and the rest of the people that were involved deep into the Euros getting a good couple of weeks off is probably needed, actually. And even though I'd like to see Kobe Mainoo out here doing what he's doing, I think him getting a bit of a break is probably a good thing. They're still going to do pre-season. He's had a very tough, long season. First introduction to senior football, ended up going on the tour, ended up playing a massive part in the success that United had, at least in the FA Cup last season, and then probably wasn't expecting to be going away with England. So I get it. I think it's probably the best if he does have a good few weeks off. But interesting that Steve McLaren's the one that's kept behind. That feels like a demotion, doesn't it? As you guys get up, I guess it'll be tea time. So as tea time for you guys today, we'll just be getting up. We are at the presser in the morning, and there's open training tomorrow afternoon, which will be late o'clock your time. So we're heading to both of those. Gonna go check them out. I'll have the Arsenal preview coming out a little bit later on today as well. So make sure to stay tuned for that, and I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.